Darlene West. You all, I got writers in my head. I apologize. Miss Darlene West. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Good afternoon. Oh, wait a minute. That's real weak. Come on, give us some energy. Good afternoon. All right, all right, all right. We are here to honor several extraordinary individuals in their field. Our first honoree is Dr. Julius Beckham. Dr. Beckham has a PhD and an MPA, Master of Public Administration. His stellar education has served him well. Currently, serves as the Assistant Director of Special Services for Huber Heights City School. Dr. Beckham is a community influencer that has used his leadership expertise and experience in various professional roles, public, private, and charter schools, over the past 25 years to successfully promote services for adults with disabilities and minority health in Montgomery County and Ohio. We salute you, Dr. Julius Beckham, today. Our next, oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to humbly thank you for this particular community award. The work that I do is with love. I love my community. I love my people. And when the world is pulling you down and also trying to push you away, it is always uplifting when your own people can support you and also tell you that you're doing something right. So I thank you all for everything that you're doing and continuing to doing, and we move forward.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our next honoree is Howard Black. Come on now, don't be trying to hide. All right. Howard Black is a native Daytonian, born and raised, graduating from Dunbar High School. He is being honored today because he has worked tirelessly on providing technical expertise and support to the African American Cultural Festival for over 15 years. He stated that he enjoys life and anything he does, he loves to do. It's not a job or an achievement. Howard Black is a true trailblazer for many to follow. We salute you, Howard Black. Did he want to say something?
Let me have your MC, your mic, please. Okay, Mr. Black is not going to say anything as far as an extended response, but he will say,
Thank you.
okay, there you go.
I appreciate it.
Here, Darlene.
Our next honoree is Adrena White Hurd. Adrena White Hurd is an African American coach specializing in African American folk tales and oral history. Adrena love Thank you. she loves for the folktale history of African American people was deeply nurtured by her family. This extraordinary educator is a curator of Adrian Virtual Bookstore and serves as president of Herb Management, a business management consulting firm. These businesses will preserve the legacy that was built for the present and future generations. We salute you, Adrian White Hurd. On behalf of Adrian Hurd, Mama Annette McGee will accept her award.
I wanted to say good afternoon. On behalf of Adrian Whitehurd, she is truly grateful and very appreciative of this honor. She was out of town and could not be in attendance today. One of the things that makes this festival go is that we have people who participate and don't charge us, and we're able to exchange for a booth. That makes us stretch our dollars, and Adrian was one of those people. One of the things people don't know is that Adrian is very educated and very talented. She has an MBA from the University of Dayton, and she graduated from Michigan. She provides through her consulting business. She has contracts with the state and contracts with the city, and she is able to give people training so that they can get certain loans and all like that. She also enjoys where I've known her, and I've known her for over 35 years. We have a standing appointment on the second Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock. And we play bid whist at that time. And that's one of the things that we do in terms of enjoyment and also doing things in community service. So on behalf of Adrian, who does multiple things in the community, she does things through her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She does community service. She's gives, donates, and gives money to various causes. So on behalf of her, she is truly appreciative of this honor, and thank you very much.
Our next honoree is Floyd Johnson. In December of 2000, Floyd Johnson was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. As a result of this, she started her first boutique, making jewelry with semi-precious stones, which can aid in the healing process. In 2003, she opened her second boutique in her home called Afrocentric. This attire was prominent, and fashion shows evolved from this creation. Floyd Johnson is a recipient of many awards and accolades for her brilliant creativity in encouraging, empowering women and men to realize that cancer is not the end, but the beginning of a healthier you, moving forward spiritually, mentally, and physically. We salute you, Floyd Johnson. On behalf of Floyd Johnson, Bishop Clarence Norton will accept her award.
I am honored to be here to receive the award for Natalie Floyd Johnson. In fact, the reason I'm a Black Elders African Council is because of Natalie. excuse me, she called me from Petersburg, Florida, and asked me, would you please represent me today because I cannot make it? That was my honor, and you know, she had held so many years of the African Cultural Festival, the modeling and the performance, and her heart is with us today. All the way from Petersburg, Florida, we honor and receive this. Very thankful. There's so much to say about this dear lady. It's not enough time to share. We thank God, and again, thank you for this award.
Our next honoree will be PNC Bank. Representing the bank is Derek. But I want to read a little bit about their honor. PNC Bank is being honored today for their community service. PNC Bank defines community service as activities, initiatives aimed at improving the quality of life and fostering economic opportunities in the communities they serve, particularly in low and moderate income areas. PNC's commitment to community service is demonstrated through various avenues. We salute you, PNC Bank.
Not to be outdone by the gentleman over here, but thank you very much. We definitely appreciate this on behalf of PNC Bank.
He is truly modest. He is representing PNC Bank as a whole. But trust me, he is the person to make it happen with their volunteers when they come out to serve the community. He is the coordinator of volunteers. So let's give Derek a round of applause in honor of the award. But in addition to that, we know PNC receives the award. But you in our heart.
Let's give a hand for all of our honorees, please. Huh? You want to take a group picture? A group picture is going to be taken. Dr. Beckham, do you mind scooting over a little bit? No, they're going to be seated. Thank you. I have two other awards to be announced from Mama Renee McClendon from Karumba Drama and Dance Family. Clifford, Derek, is Clifford here? Okay. All right. Hello. It was a surprise, wasn't it? Mama Renee wanted to give you a recognition, and I am handing it to you. We salute you and thank you for your service.
Thank you. Well, I'm back again this year. We've been doing this for 30 years, so I seem like I've been home. So I really enjoyed. So everybody else, I hope they enjoy it also.
Oh, okay. Okay. Andre Walker Cummings, is he here? Is she? Is it she? Andrea Walker Cummings? Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mama Renee wanted you to have this plaque, and we thank you from the Karuma Drama Dance Drum family. We present this to you. Thank you so much. Well, yes, ma'am. But we thank you, Mama. Thank you so much.
Okay. She wanted me to say something. I wanted to tell everybody that about Mama Renee. And Mama Renee happened to be my skyscraper in one of Bing Davis's skyscraper exhibits. And when I met her, I met a truly wonderful person, intent on bringing up our children and teaching our children skills that have long been forgotten. But more importantly, the way I felt, she made me feel the first time I walked through the doors of her studio. And when I did, a calm came over me that just made me want to just sit down, relax, and stay there as long as I could. And that's what I did. She's a wonderful, wonderful person.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you get your pictures, Mama? Everybody smile to the camera. Thank you so much. Once again, let's give everybody a round of applause, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You may go and...
Okay, as you know, I'm Vanita Kelly, and I am one of your MCs for this weekend at the Dayton Africana Festival. Pardon the sunglasses, y'all forgot they were on. Our next person coming forward to tell you and to reinforce for you and others in the audience that farming is not a luxury. We're finding it to be a necessity here. Irby's Old School Farm is a place that has, in fact, begun its farm. Miss Irby, Christine Irby, is going to talk with you about it. But as she talks about her farm, I want you to remember about Edgemont Gardens that's been there for 40 years, you all. It's been there for 40 years. They have a 200 gardens project going on. Others will tell you about it. You want to be in contact, see Mama Bradley, Sissy Bradley, if you want to hear more about that. All right, I'm bringing to the stage Miss Christine Irby, Irby's Old School Farm, STEM teacher too, y'all. Hey.
Lauren, I must we be down with y'all. All right. Ashe, thank you for the ancestors for me even being here and being this breath right now. So that's first off. Better? Is that better? Okay. I am Christine Irby, co-founder of Irby's Old School Farm. And I was saying thank you to the ancestors for my breath for even being here in this place, this beautiful place right now. All right, so let's get started. Y'all can hear me now still? Okay, cool. All right, so on the ad, it said farming is not a luxury, it is a necessity. What in the world is she talking about with that? Farming is a lot of work, but you know where your food comes from. You know where it's grown. You just know where the birth of it is. So let me back up. How many of y'all went to the grocery store this week? You had to go check the ads, right? You had to check the cabinets, right? Did you check the recall list from the FDA? That's the thing. There's a whole lot of stuff that's going to be on the recall list that stays on the list, comes off the list, and don't even make it to the list. All right. Second thing. What's that extra stuff they're adding into the food now? That's called bioengineered. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. You can't Google that. Oreos, Cheetos, Takis. What is it not on the list? I think even ketchup. So what I say is, grow your food. Make your food safe. So in the tent, I think we're Ujima. Yeah. I'm sorry. Am I doing that? Okay. All right, cool. So we're to the right in the Ujima tent, and my husband Dale Irby's there with his cute shirt on. And we're going to talk to you more about how do you do that, because some of that. Ooh, am I allowed to come down here? I feel so far. Yeah. Yeah, I'm allowed to. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So look, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you there's things that's in your food that they're not going to tell you what it is. And they're not going to tell you. Maybe your grandchildren might find out in 30 years what it is. Oh, by the way, yeah, don't eat that bioengineered stuff. So, at the Irby's Old School Farm, we're poultry farmers. We're chicken farmers. So right now we have 30 chicken. And 2 of them are roosters, or we call them boyfriends. All the hens are divas. And how we got started, COVID. You got to stop talking about it. Talking about it's not going to grow you food. Being about it, it starts with you and it ends with you, period. So over the tent, we got some vermiculite, we got some peat moss, and we're just old school trying to show you how to just grow the seeds. So stuff you can grow right now that you'll get a harvest for Thanksgiving, because y'all ain't ready for Thanksgiving. Let's just be real. But when you go to the grocery store, you see all those big collard greens, and you see your mustard greens and what have you, and then your tomatoes. Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but at our farm, we don't use Miracle Grow crap. Trust me. So our stuff is not organic, but we call it regenerative. So we don't use, medicine, none of that stuff. Our chickens eat watermelon. Let's talk about that. How many stores have you seen? Oh, let me go ahead and get this seedless watermelon. Yeah, let's go get that. No, it's a fruit. Fruit, they reproduce what? Seeds. How you gonna buy something and it doesn't have seeds in it? That's not natural. I know it's convenient, but I don't know what you eating, right? So our divas and the fellas, they eat watermelon. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, they eat watermelon. They love corn on the cob. Not cooked. Because when we throw it out there, it's like a NFL fumble. And you see whoosh, all these feathers flying after this corn. It's cool. And then the feed that we feed them is non-GMO. So it's it's genetically not modified. And we're at Gym City Market. So November 2025, we'll be back at Gym City Market selling our eggs. And our eggs, yeah. Can we say pound cake? I'm just saying, epic eggs. So you can really taste our difference in the eggs. Trying to think what else to talk about. Really, you have any questions? Because I don't want to run out of time. Do we have any questions? I'm sorry. Do we have any questions out there? No? Okay, we can keep it flowing and growing. Oh, hold on, Dr. Vanita. Let's talk about why is it prevalent or why is it more relevant in our community that you got ADHD, you got cancer, you got diabetes, and you have high blood pressure. Why is that so high in our community? Why is it so high with our race right now? It's what you eat. So I know we talk about red dye. Don't feed the babies red dye. But let's talk about not feeding them stuff that has questionable product in it. So a farm, you don't need a farm to grow your own food. Let's tell the difference on that. Gardening is growing your food for your community, for your family, versus a farm is a business. So there's a difference on farming on that. Yes, you got to grow your own food because they're not going to take care of you. When you go to the doctor, they're going to give you a pill for something. I'm saying grow your own food so you don't have to go to the doctor, don't have to schedule that appointment, don't have to get that prescription. You need to grow your own prescription. You need to grow your own. And then, also, I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Now a lot of people know. In May of 2025, we had a fire. And we don't know what the cause was, honestly. So we're rebuilding. Yeah, we're rebuilding so we can have more access to the, access to having the bridge to our community. Back up to Gym City Market. So our farm started off COVID, cool. And then we decided, okay, we're going to get some eggs. Well, the story behind that is, if you don't get it local, you can get it mailed to you. We had it mailed to the mailbox, to the post office box, and they called us. Freaked out. They were so freaked out because they didn't know why the box was moving. So you can get chickens in the mail, but they've delivered to your house or you got to pick it up, so that was funny too. And we also work with the CAN project, which is food bank. We raise meat processing chickens, the white chickens, the Cornish rock chickens, and we raised them and we sent them to the food bank. So our food bank distribution was Springfield, it was in Columbus, it was in Dayton, and Cincinnati, because my husband and I are born, raised Cincinnati. Yes, go Bengals. I don't want to hear anything else. We Cincinnati bred. So we came up here, and when we established our farm, we have about 2 acres. That's the other thing. I do not want you thinking you need like 10 acres to have gardening. You can really raise it in water. You can raise it in hydroponics, which, yeah, I didn't bring a hydroponics, but I can show you from seed and some starters how to grow plants. Let me, one moment. Okay, also, we had a donation from the Edgemont Solar Gardens. That was the Wandering Jew, and a touch based on houseplants. You need houseplants because it gives off oxygen in your house. It gives you more air to breathe, and it's a safe place for you. Take it for someone who has asthma and allergies and what have you. I love my houseplants. So when you see the Wandering Jew over there, no, don't eat it. That is something that you have in your house. That's why we have houseplants. So, any questions from the audience? Oh, okay, so we're on IG, we're on Instagram, so Irby's Old School Farm on Instagram. We have a QR code over there, you can scan it. Ma'am, Irby, IRBY. Yeah, IRBY. Yes, the fellas, my sons and my husband came up with the name Irby's Old School Farm. What they said. And we've been established for about going on 2 years. Yep, going on 2 years. We have 2 acres. We back into 5 Rivers Metro Parks. So it's nothing behind us. Yes, ma'am. I don't know. Oh, also, the soil that we use, like I said, is peat moss, because it's easier for the roots to get through. And then also, I go to Lowe's, I go to Home Depot, but we make our own dirt. So I don't want you thinking that, oh, let me get this bag of potting soil. Let me go ahead and get this organic Miracle Grow, because if there's nothing wrong with the original Miracle Grow, why would you need an organic version of it? So basically our plants that we're expanding on, because we're gardening right now, expanding on really concentrating on the root growth. I don't know why people just want to they just want to water the stem and the leaves. I know that makes it Martha Stewart looking good, but you really, really want to focus on the root. So when you get tomatoes, you need to bury it. I mean, bury it deep. So you want those roots to get established. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have produce that you sell?
We're gardening right now, Mama, at this moment. But November we will have greens. We will have mustard that we started, and the tomatoes for right now. Next year we'll have a little bit more of a bigger crop because we wanted some okra in the house. Oh my goodness, we want some okra bad. But we were more focused on the chickens this year and getting reconstructed with the barn fire. Questions? Yes, ma'am. It wasn't. Oh, let me go off on a little tangent about the USDA real quick. The USDA gave us our farm number, gave us our track number. They have not gave us anything else but excuses and paperwork. So USDA has not helped us with anything. I'm just being real with you. And the main office is in Preble County. Right across the street is the Confederate flag. And when I went driving up there trying to get my hydroponics thing in, thinking they're going to help me with that, why I hear gunshots? You just don't want to do that. You just don't want to go to Preble County and all of a sudden you're trying to get out of the car and you hear gunshots. Now, me being from Cincinnati, I just say a little prayer and kept it moving because that was a deadline for that hydroponics application. But again, it was a memory. It was a dream. They did not help us with any kind of funding. So we are proud USDA farmers because it makes us more legit. But as far as funding and stuff, no. And then I mentioned the contract with the CAN project. That was canceled by the present government. So that's why we don't do meat chickens anymore. Oh, we was gangster with it. We had 1,000 chicken. You hear me? 1,000. We will rotate them. And instead of going batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4, I called them freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors. Seniors, they got out. They was in the yard more, and they were ready to get transitioned to the food bank. So, but the freshmen, yeah, they were the babies. I had to come to a meeting for the elders council, and I had one in a butterfly cage. The windows was down a little bit, but yeah, I had a live chicken. Also, we don't have the traditional chickens either. We have the green eggs, blue eggs, and those are not Barbie doll eggs. We have brown eggs, kind of off-white eggs, but yeah. So we don't have, what is it? Leghorn? What the rooster off of Looney Tunes? Longhorn Leghorn. No, we ain't got him. Yeah, yes, ma'am. So, yeah, we have Colombian Wyandottes. We have Starlight is really the reef that she is. AstroTurf, black AstroTurf. It looks like black peacocks. And our rooster is Falcon and Storm. Yeah, they're already getting busy. Alpha top trying to, do what they need to do with a 2-year-old hen. And the black ones we call Medeas. Okay, one more thing. So with the fire, we had 4 chickens that survived. And the fourth, one of my favorite ones is called Bessie. She flew out of my hand the first time I held her. So I gave her the name of Bessie Coleman after the female aviator, black aviator. If you don't have any questions. It's not at the Irby's old school farm. I tell you that. One thing that does happen is that the trying to trace everything back to the farm. So, no, we don't have that. Heck yes, safe to buy Irby. We eat ours. How we go? I'm just saying we do eat our food. So how we gonna sell something that's not safe for us to eat? That's not us. Nope.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Amy, and I work with Ohio Immigrant Solidarity Network. It's a nonprofit that helps immigrants, even local community, refugees, asylum seekers. We have few programs, community support, where we support them with the food, clothes, things that they need support with. And we have sewing class where they learn how to sew so they can find a jobs, and also they can make their own stuff with that skill. And we also have advocacy where we help them, taking them places where they need advocates with. And we also have festival that is coming up. If you excuse me. So we have a Global Root Day in River Fest that is coming up in October 4th, and it will be at the Triangle Park. So everyone is welcome, is to celebrate the unity, community, cultures. So peace, love, let's all share that positivity, energy together. So everyone is welcome, and thank you.
Amy, when we first met her, she was a young girl going to Belmont High School. And at Belmont High School, she actually collected other kids. She's from the Congo, the DRC Congo. She collected other African students and they formed an African dance group. And guess where they danced at? Right here. So, it's a continuation. Now she's an adult. Now she's helping other immigrants like she did when she was a child at Belmont. It's very, we don't applaud our youth when they do good things. Here is an example. And by the way, Belmont is Dayton Public School. Yes. So please make sure, if you have fabric scraps that you're not using, pass them down. Just call me. If you have clothes, it's going to get cold soon. I collect socks and gloves and hats for Africans because you will see them walking with sandals in the middle of the winter. When you see someone walking with sandals, most likely they're from Africa, and the temperature is different, the climate is different, and I pass them on to her organization. Thank you.
The idea for the Ubuntu Study Abroad program was birthed in the Panera Bread on Brown Street on a napkin. Faraha and I, Faraha's my senior in terms of time at Sinclair, we came together and we were in need of something connective that is culturally ours. And not just for us, but the larger Dayton community. And in doing so, the first thing that came up is why not go to Africa? Particularly for so many of our youth, there's a large and troubling misconception about what continental Africa is, let alone the individual countries themselves. And so being able to dovetail academic study with a cultural experience is what really drove the trip. And in doing so, we were able to get the support hesitantly at first, but then open-handed support later from the college to make the trip grow.
So again, oh goodness. Again, my name is Faraha Henry Jones. I'm an English professor at Sinclair. And before I say a word, I have to give a lot of thank yous to Dr. Jennifer Subin and her husband, Neil Daniels. Both of them were instrumental in introducing me to Durban, South Africa, and also, of course, to Mama Nosipo, who we all know here. Those are three people who really influenced my desire to get to know Africa better through the lens of South Africa. Ubuntu means I am because we are. And I think a lot of you here may know that. But since we have a camera here, I'm saying it for the record and for all those who are not here with us. Ubuntu means I am because we are. And one of the important things with the program that we started at Sinclair is that we wanted students to take a piece of themselves, their families, their history, their knowledge here to Durban and to South Africa to learn from folks there about community and how to do it better and to bring that back home. So we're always telling the students, you're not just you. You are not just you. You are your mother and your father and your grandparents and your sister and your cousins and your community when you get off that airplane. And when they meet folks, particularly when we go to Durban and we stay in a neighborhood called Sydenham, they're meeting people who have that same thought and philosophy about community and about life. What I'd like for us to do here today is to give like an overarching view of what the objectives of the program are. It started, what year did we? 2017 was our first year going. 2018 was our second year going. COVID took a lot of convincing and fundraising, et cetera, and we were able to take a third group this past June on a trip that was slightly different. And I want to make sure that I introduce Dorian Pierce. He is an employee at Sinclair, and he can tell you about his role there. But he was a student at Sinclair, and he was one of the first students to go on the trip, and then he went again with us as an employee. So he's done this kind of full circle being part of the trip, and I've said it more than once. My hope and my goal is that he will be replacing us and taking students on into the future. Our hope is that this is not a once it happens, then we wait another 5 years and maybe it happens. Our hope is that every other year, enough time for students to save up that money and for their families to plan and to make plans every other year, we're taking a group of students to South Africa. Yes, that does deserve a hand clap. I'm calling it forth. We want that to happen. We don't want this to be, here's a disaster that happened and now we can't go anymore. Okay, with that being said, Dorian, what I'd like for you to do, since you have this interesting perspective, could you talk to us a little bit about what it felt like the first time that you went to South Africa, what stood out to you, and how it was different this time?
Test. Hello, everyone. My name is Dorian Pierce. I am currently an admissions counselor at Sinclair Community College. So my role is to basically assist students getting enrolled and help them with the next steps prior to registration. So my very first time landing into South Africa, when I found out that the trip was that they was offering a trip, I was like, why not? You know, I thought this would be a great opportunity, but it was also a way for me to congratulate myself because I was graduating that year. So it was a great way for me to congratulate myself, and I felt like I owed myself something. And this was a new chapter in my life, and the best way was to why not go to South Africa? Why not go to the motherland? And so I was nervous. My family was nervous, but when I got there, it was just like wow, you know, the people, the infrastructure, the languages, the food, the culture, the richness, the community. It was like, yo, like I understand why we as people relate to how we relate and move how we move and learn how we learn and encourage each other and just build each other up. Coming back the second time, in my opinion, I think I had a lot better experience. So I am a visual/audio learner. So I do photography and videography. So I was able to take my camera and was able to record and was able to do personal interviews with one of the prisoners that was at Robben Island, one of a lot of the community members that we met with in Durban and also in Cape Town, just asking them personal questions. And I'm able to remember that forever because I have it on video and audio, but not also I can remember for myself, but I can show community members back at home. I can post it on social media and they can see what's going on, and they can hear from actual Africans themselves their own testimony, their own lives, and questions that I was asking them. So I'm very thrilled. I'm still breaking down and debriefing a lot of the things. I have so much footage from 2 weeks that I still haven't been able to watch it all. So yes.
Dorian, if people want to see some of your short clips and the videos and things, where can they go or how can they connect with you?
So if you are interested in seeing some of the footage, it can be found on YouTube. If you type in my name, Dorian Pierce, or DP Zooms, which is my media name, DPZOOMZ, DP Zooms, you will be able to find just a few of many different pieces that are uploaded. More are still to be uploaded on the way, but there's, I believe, about 4 to 5 different videos as to right there that for people to watch.
Fahim, could you talk to us really specifically about how South Africa and its history has many parallels with our history here in the United States, and kind of how we harness that comparison? Because when I've talked to other folks, I haven't had the pleasure of going to West Africa, visiting West Africa or East Africa. But when I talk to people who've been to more than one country, one of the things that they talk about is how, as a person of African descent in America, there's a lot of familiarity, including in terms of history and oppression. So could you talk to us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to kind of set a baseline, and I'll do my best to be brief. I'll use the Carmichaelian and Angela Davis's definition of racism, right? And so racism is an equation, is prejudice plus power. Power manifests itself in 3 ways here in the West. When I say the West, I'm referring to Europe, the United States, and all those areas that have been colonized by Europe and the United States. And those 3 manifestations are politically, socially, economic. In order to be effectively racist, you need to control 2 of those 3 quorums: social, politically, economic, politically. But one of the things we recognize, particularly in South Africa, as well as most of the colonized African continent outside of Ethiopia, is that there's a quorum of the 3. And one of the things that people refer to when they talk about the connectivity between South Africa and as well the United States is the linear progression that we had here in the States. We went from slavery to slave codes to black codes to Jim Crow law. Now in the modern day era, we're struggling to find a name. We just call it systemic racism. Whereas in South Africa, they went from colonization to apartheid to what is a quasi appearance of full independence. But one of the things that we've recognized, particularly in our travels, and we can see these things up close, although politically present, with indigenous Africans having a tremendous presence within the political sphere, economically, the vast majority of the wealth is still controlled by European forces. Roughly 90% of South African wealth is concentrated amongst what we would call European colonizers. And so when we look at some of that symmetry here in the United States, yes, we recognize that post-Jim Crow, black folks have done a tremendous job of nestling ourselves within the system. There still is a tremendous amount of economic inequity that exists. I don't think I'm saying anything too radical within that. We also recognize as well, because of that, there's certain social normalities in South Africa as well as that the United States exist surrounding race. When I'm talking to people from Sydenham, there's communities that we went to visit for historical purposes that they've never thought to go to, right? Never thought to go to. And immediately, me being a West Sider, I grew up off of Brooklyn Avenue, two blocks back from Homeboys Music and Pinky's, which is no longer Pinky's. But growing up, I understood you don't go up far hills. You don't go too far up Woodman. You don't hang out even on East 3rd Street after a certain time. You're just given these things because it's about your safety, and more importantly for our parents and our elders, it's about you making it home, right? And that is implicit when we're talking about the police presence that does exist on those communities, particularly for what we consider to be brother outsider. Even though you may be a Daytonian, you're not necessarily welcome on those sides of town. As recently as 2017, the city of Oakwood had a federal case because of their stop and frisk procedures in which maybe 3% of Oakwood's population is black, but it made up 85% of their arrests and pullovers. That's what it looks like, right? And so it's very similar in South Africa as well, where there's an implicit understanding that for indigenous Africans, as well as the colored community, which represents a cultural mixing of heritage between black and white and black, Indian and black, et cetera, that there's certain places that you're not necessarily going to go or you're welcome to go. And so when we talk about this historical connectivity, this is also uniform across the United States. Dayton is like Cleveland, it's like Oakland, it's like Memphis, it's like New York, it's like Gary, Indiana, it's like Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Right, there's a tremendous amount of symmetry here, and that reflects the systemic nature of racism. These things are applied linear. That means it's the same everywhere because these systems function the same with black folks. And so oftentimes for people who've been able to travel, that's the first thing that they recognize. Particularly here in the city of Dayton, for many of us who are from Dayton, we grow up with some of these normalities that we don't think too much about. But it's not normal to be able to tell the income, the life expectancy, the literacy rate, the water quality by crossing a bridge. Here in Dayton, when you cross the bridge one way or the other, those things dramatically change, right? Similarly in South Africa, once you cross the street one way or another, these things drastically change. And the one thing that does make South Africa different than in the West is they don't put a mascara on their poverty. Not at all. Here, we'll try to beautify it, right? We'll put you in project homes or townhomes, and the maintenance of said homes usually falls off after about 4 or 5 years once the next political candidate comes in, and it becomes a political tool. In South Africa, you can see the 1% typically live higher on the hill, and down said hill, maybe 400 yards within eyesight, there'll be what we call jerry-built or shanty towns, right? Tin tops, no electricity, but they will have running water. And so for these wealthy people, when they look out their backyard on their rotunda and their veranda into their garden, another 100 yards away are people who will represent some of the poorest people in the world. Whereas here, you know, you have to get off the highway, make a left, make a right, then you're at Hilltop, you're at Dunbar Manor, you're at what's left of the Soda Bass. Right? And so those are some of the things that people, when that connectivity, they notice.
When we, the first couple of times that we took students, we went to one area. We went to the city of Durban, and we stayed in a neighborhood called Sydenham. And we ventured out around the city and the region, but mostly we stayed in that area. This last trip was different in that we flew into Durban. We were in Sydenham for a couple of days, and then we got in a car and we drove to Howick, where the Nelson Mandela capture site is located. We got back in the car and we drove to the middle of the Karoo, which is a semi-arid desert-like area, I think kind of Arizona looking, to Colesburg. And then we got back in the car and we drove all the way to Cape Town. So it was kind of like a trip driving from here to Texas. And then we made our way back to Durban. And along the way, we stopped at sites that were significant in Nelson Mandela's life. Hunu, which is where he was born, and some other historical sites along the way. With that in mind, I want to ask both of you another question. And if I'm okay time-wise, okay. Make it really quick, I guess, in 30 seconds or so. How was your experience? You experienced one small place, but getting to see a variety of people living in different ways. I mean, we were visiting people's homes, we were eating food, we were seeing musicians, we were meeting freedom fighters, etc. What is one takeaway from that? One brief takeaway.
One major brief takeaway for me is the way that the community, no matter if you were in Durban or in Cape Town, how much knowledge these people had. Even though there were some people, you know, their education system was poor, and they're like second grade level, they can only count up to like not past 10. Then they have to go out into the field and work, but they did not let that be a hindrance to them learning and educating themselves about what's going on in their government, what's going on in their local community, or what's even going on across the world. So that was really one major thing, was that the adversity that they have to really push beyond measure. To me, that was a major takeaway, and I'm thankful which gave me the courage to still keep pushing, learning, furthering my own education as a young African American myself.
One of the things that stood out to me, and it correlates with my research, and so it's the concentric circles of oppression and poverty, and where people are pushed to, and where people are strategically placed in a given city. And both Cape Town and Durban are ocean-faring cities, and to see the eerie similarity about where poor people live, where disenfranchised people lived, and also the history of how, when these groups organized, how they were put down, and in the ways that they were put down, and the residue that still exists in 2025, that can be compared as well to a city like Dayton. It can be compared to what is currently happening in Washington, D.C. as we speak. All these things are part of the same program with how the West operates. And so that's one of the things that really stood out to me.
So in closing, what I'd ask of you, I have an ask. Please talk about the fact that Sinclair has a study abroad program to South Africa. Mention it to anybody you know, so that if they have in their mind, this young person had a dream that he could visit Africa, that he knows right in his neighborhood is a place where we can take you to South Africa, and you can use that as a jumping off point. And also know that it's not just young people who go on the trip. Sinclair students are of all ages. On our last trip, our oldest traveler was in her 70s, and she had her walker, and the young folks helped her, and it was a beautiful intergeneration. We had every decade represented on this trip. From the youngest was 19 to 70s. We had every decade represented. So it's a very intergenerational experience. So if you are someone who you want to take a class at Sinclair, and the class you want to take is study abroad to South Africa, consider it. Our hope is to have a group of at least 10 people who are going, not next summer, but the following summer, to South Africa. Thank you so much, and thank you for the time.